is Melissa Cox. Welcome to the North Carolina School of Science and Math presentation on paraphrasing. Please note that all material provided by Purdue University librarians will be used verbatim at their request. There are intellectual challenges that all students are faced with when writing. Sometimes these challenges can almost seem like contradictions, particularly when addressing them within a single paper. For example, American teachers often instruct students to develop a topic based on what has already been said and written, but write something new and original. Rely on experts and authorities' opinions, but improve upon and/or disagree with those same opinions. Give credit to previous researchers, but make your own significant contribution. Improve your English to fit into a discourse community by building upon what you hear and read, but using your own words and voice. Academic writing is challenging even for professionals. According to James MacDonald, deliberate fraud, not error, was the #1 reason for retraction. It's most common in prestigious journals. Most fraudsters were repeat offenders. It occurs predominantly among pre-tenure professors. It is outright data fabrication, and fraud is increasing as jobs and funding become more scarce. Fraudulent data misinforming the public can have serious repercussions. The skewed data that falsely correlated vaccines to autism caused many parents to opt out of vaccinations. Now, previously eradicated diseases are returning, such as the measles outbreak that happened at the happiest place on earth. We are here to help you avoid fraud and plagiarism. There are 3 ways to give credit when citing research or ideas that are not your own. Summarizing. You must reference the original source. The text is much shorter than the original text. For example, one may write a single page to summarize a 4-page article. You must use your own words, usually with very limited use of quotations. Paraphrasing. You must reference the original source. The text produced may be shorter or longer than the original text. You must use your own words. Quoting. You must reference the original source. The text produced is the exact length of the original text quoted, unless ellipses are used. Use the original author's exact words. Put quotation marks around the original author's exact words. Include the page number of the original source from which you borrowed the author's original language. Paraphrasing is a valuable skill because it is better than quoting information from an undistinguished passage. It helps you control the temptation to quote too much. The mental process required for successful paraphrasing helps you to grasp the full meaning of the original. Here are 6 tips on successful paraphrasing. Reread the original passage until you understand its full meaning. Set the original aside and write your paraphrase on a note card. Jot down a few words below your paraphrase to remind you later how you envision using this material. At the top of the note card, write a key word or phrase to indicate the subject of your paraphrase. Check your rendition with the original to make sure that your version accurately expresses all the essential information in a new form. Use quotation marks to identify any unique term or phraseology you have borrowed exactly from the source. Record the source, including the page, on your note card so that you can credit it easily if you decide to incorporate the material into your paper. Here's an example of how to paraphrase. I'll read to you the original passage. Students frequently overuse direct quotation in taking notes, and as a result, they overuse quotations in the final research paper. Probably only about 10% of your final manuscript should appear as directly quoted matter. Therefore, you should strive to limit the amount of exact transcribing of source materials while taking notes. Here is a legitimate paraphrase of the previous passage. In research papers, students often quote excessively, failing to keep quoted material down to a desirable level. Since the problem usually originates during note-taking, it is essential to minimize the material recorded verbatim. Here is an acceptable summary. Students should take just a few notes in direct quotation from sources to help minimize the amount of quoted material in a research paper. Here is a plagiarized version. Students often use too many direct quotations when they take notes, resulting in too many of them in the final research paper. In fact, probably only 10% of the final copy should consist of directly quoted material. So it is important to limit the amount of source material copied while taking notes. Note that there are no quotation marks used on this passage. This makes it plagiarized. When in doubt, cite, and use quotation marks if you must. Ask your teacher or consult a librarian. We provide reference in person, on the phone, via Google Hangout, and by Skype. We serve the online and residential students. Thank you.